Flat Cap Cafe Racer here. I'm here at Mr. Bill's. We're going to check up, and for some of you who've not watched, Mr. Bill's doing a project to hop up his Rocket 3 motorcycle. He's got a 2006, and he's been working on this, powerfully working on this since March of this year, and who knows, by March of next year, he may get it done. So last time we left Mr. Bill, he had the case of the moving valve clearances. So we're going to ask Mr. Bill what he's found out and where he's at right now. Stay tuned. Meerkat. So, Mr. Bill, did you figure out why your valve clearances were shifting, or did you figure out how to get them right?
I never figured out why they were changing when I would put the cams back in. Some people suggested that I was putting too much oil and grease down in the bearing journals. I have no idea. So what I did is I have this tool that I made. One of the guys on the Rocket 3 forum, rocket scientist, designed this years ago and put it on the forum. So I made this out of stainless steel, and it's worked really well. You take one of the cam ladder bolts out and you just put it in.
Can you show me where you put it in?
Oh, yeah. So you just take one of the inside cam ladder bolts out, and then you just put it right in here, and then screw it down, and the edge goes on the edge of the bucket and depresses the valve, so that you can get the shim out without removing the cam. It took me 3 hours to do the first one, but it was like 15 minutes for each one after that.
So you got the right valve clearances now?
So all the valve clearances are set really good. The intakes are between 13 and 15. The spec is between 10 and 15. And the exhausts, the spec is between 15 and 20. And they're all at 18 to 19. So that's really good numbers.
So what you going to do today?
Today I want to put the front cover on and see if I can get the clutch to connect so that everything works correctly in there. So that's today's project. Put the front cover on.
Put the front cover on.
Yup.
All right. You guys stay tuned and see how this goes.
Right.
Before we put this cover on, Mr. Bill, can you show us over here on the
Wait a minute. I got a little problem here.
Of picking this up and doing a trial fit. What Mr. Bill did is he pulled this out and subsequently kind of moved its position, the spring position on this rod. So we don't really know how this rod's supposed to be clocked in there, because if you have the rod turned too far, then you get too much tension. If you don't have it turned far enough, then you got too little. So Mr. Bill's going to look in the manual to see what the proper position of this is. It feels pretty good right there, actually. Bill looked in the book to see how this thing, if there's any position that it was supposed to be on. And there's only really kind of like two positions, and one of them's a little stiffer than the other. So we're going to go with a more stiffer position. So this has to be pulled back like this to be, you put it on, then you pull it back like that, and it catches the little knob. So that little piece that I just showed you a while ago catches on this button on the clutch and kind of catches like that. All right, we're going to try to fit here in just a minute. Okay, Mr. Bill has got the cover back on and getting ready to torque that down. And
9 Newton meters in the book.
He says 9 Newton meters, which is about nothing.
Really?
We've got the cam cover back on right now, and with the gasket, so it can kind of seat in for tonight. And I'm sure Mr. Bill will have it off again to put some more goop on it tomorrow, right, Mr. Bill?
Oh, and dump some oil in too.
He's only got about 8 quarts of oil. He's putting it in with his little oil can. But, yeah. This is a Flat Cap Cafe Racer saying goodbye, adieu from me and Mr. Bill for today. And we'll have to come back and see later on. Mr. Bill has promised that I'll be here when the startup.
Oh, absolutely.
Join me and my friends at Flat Cap Cafe Racer for riding and racing. Please subscribe.